Hello and welcome. This is Kristen from the Online Selling Show, and I am here with a new weekly vlog for this week starting of November 4th. If you haven't been here before, I say welcome. If you have been, I say thank you for coming back. This is my weekly vlog, and I'm going to have this in my playlist of being my check-ins. As I've indicated before, this particular playlist is going to be for what is going to be my weekly goals, a midweek check-in, how things are going, and then at the end of the week, what I've done in being able to complete the goals and a wrap up of my sales. This is there as a guide for myself to go back and see. I started a new eBay business on June 15th of 2024, and this is going to be my documenting of how things are going and trying to build this business. I want the business to have income in 2 to 3 years of 6 figures. I'm not talking sales, I'm talking a net income for myself and my husband. I have been 22 years selling online in various sales platforms. Currently, I'm in a wholesale business model. I've been doing this for 15 years, and it's a lot of everything, a lot of product, a lot of resources needed, my time, and just a lot of moving parts. So we want to be out of this in 2 to 3 years. And at that point, my husband just wants to go fishing out to be his whole day. I have no idea what his dreams and aspirations are other than he just wants to be done. And truthfully, it is a lot. We're not getting any younger. And I mean, I just literally went to the post office making a second run. So it's just a lot of things to coordinate between the mental stress and all. So here's the week that we're in. I am in now, I would say, the full-fledged beginning of the holiday season. This past week, I mean, I knew I was going to give myself grace, but I was shocked in that I took stuff in the basement. I didn't even go and take the time to start noting and putting it on shelves and bins. Like, the stuff is literally just where I dropped it in the basement. So I do need to try to make that an effort. I swore that in my personal aspirations for this season, I was going to start decorating my house for the holidays in October, and I just indicating it's November 4th. I have not done a thing for decorating. So if I have mental energy or anything left in the tank, so to speak, that's where I want to spend my time, is getting that stuff done. I did spend last week doing a whole day of stuff for myself personally, and I do have to give myself, the grace in thinking that it wasn't all just work. I did have some downtime. And this is the time of year where my husband and I, even if it's just like an afternoon off, it's a luxury, truthfully. So, sorry, I've been fighting a migraine today. What is this week? This week I'm predicting that tomorrow is the election day. I don't care where you fall politically on this whole what you're going to vote, who you're going to vote for. But I've said it before that when there is events happening either nationally or internationally, whether it's a natural disaster of some sort or some kind of a event, it does draw people's time and attention away from their phones or, doing impulse buying, and they're transfixed watching the TV. The news is kind of what takes over. And I'm going to predict that I think tomorrow and Wednesday, maybe a little bit more on the slower side, as people are checking in, seeing what's going on. You can't get away from this if you tried anyway. I'm sure all of us are kind of worn out with what's going on with the election. So I just feel that tomorrow and Wednesday, we may see a slowdown. The other thing that happens, this is going to be going on for this year, is we are facing what is the most compressed holiday season. What that means is that you will have the shortest season between Thanksgiving and Christmas, and people are going to have to really modify what they're doing. I have seen where people always say Christmas is being put in the stores earlier and earlier. I'm going to say that's true. I know for myself, in the years that I've been doing this and I've gained more knowledge, I used to not get my deliveries until like the middle of August to the end of August. I start pushing my vendors now, like starting 4th of July time, for when are my shipments coming? I need it. It's not necessarily because I'm trying to make the sales. For me, some of it is trying to get things coordinated in the warehouse and having to coordinate. I can only, like I said, I have a warehouse built behind my house, so there's only so much I can take in at a time. And so, you know, that's been a driver for some of me, but people are getting trained that they have to shop earlier, because they're starting to learn if you start to wait till like this time of year, like the end of October, even into November, to get certain things, they're going to find that the stores are sold out. That's just been the reality of how things have come into this world of Christmas decorating and stuff. So yes, I do believe that people are buying stuff much earlier than they had been. Maybe you could argue that, because I do remember like the Christmas clubs used to be a big thing. I'm showing my age with that, I'm sure. But, you know, people used to get that. I never had one, but I do remember they would get that sometime in the fall. I think it was like September, October. So maybe I'm wrong in that. But anyway, so the most compressed season also will make people have to do more of their shopping on the weekends, where like last year, the reason I say this is going to be the very latest it could be is that the fourth Thursday of November is when Thanksgiving falls here in the US. And if it fell to it's the 28th this year, if it fell to the 29th, that means it would have been held on the 5th Thursday of the month, and then it would get pushed to the 22nd, which is what happened last year, where we basically gained an extra week in how much time was there for available shopping. So the weekends, I'm already going to tell you, are going to be crazy and nuts. I saw it this past weekend, and especially in my day yesterday. I haven't looked, I've been so busy trying to get orders out, I did not look at my sales report yet for the final of what the day was. So that means for me that my weekends, I've said it, I don't know that I'm going to be going to estate sales, which leads me to the next topic of I did start looking ahead, and I really should not have, because it is so tempting. There is 3 different things that caught my attention. The first is that the one estate sale has some brand that I've started to recognize and move some product of, and they've got a couple items of that, and they do have a couple other items of holiday that seem to be more, I don't want to say obscure, but more like boutique. It's not going to be sold like in mainstream stores. There's a second sale that has, I went to her sale this past Saturday, and when I was there, this was where I bought the Swarovski crystal. This woman, somebody was asking her about her sale for next week, and she was saying how it's in her top 5 sales that she's ever been holding. And I don't know what criteria she was basing that on. I don't know if it's the most volume of stuff. I don't know if she's expecting she's going to make the most money out of this stuff. Maybe it's the most higher quality kind of stuff. I really don't know what was the criteria for her to make this in her top 5. So when I went to check out, I said to her, I said, can you tell me, will you be having Christmas there? Because I've been looking at some of the photos for that sale already, and there really wasn't a whole lot of any of that. And she kind of took a breath and was like, and she's like, oh yeah. She says, we just cleaned out a shed, and this was the first day of her sale, which was on a Friday. And she said that to me, no, it was Saturday, I'm sorry. So she said it was like on Friday, they had cleared out a whole shed that was nothing but Christmas. So I have taken notice that she's uploaded more pictures for that sale, and a lot of it is like holiday greens, like the garlands and the swags and stuff. And truthfully, I don't have an interest in any of that. Most people can find that at a local store to them. It's very bulky and just hard to ship, hard to get photos. It's not usually unique enough that most people would want that. So I do just kind of overlook that. She does have some stuff there that is more of like the dolls and the figurines and stuff, but they're more mainstream. There's nothing I can usually make bundles and stuff like that if it's mass produced, as long as there's some secondary thing to it where I feel that I can put it in a certain genre or type of, let's say it was ice skaters or hockey players, something. But there's nothing there that I would even think about doing bundles. The figurines, I'm not necessarily saying that they are Hobby Lobby or Walmart, but some of them I know, even if they were out like at gift stores and stuff, like touristy places, they probably only sold for about $11.95, $12.95 to begin with, type thing, type of price point. So it's not unique enough, and it's not something to bundle, and the resale value of it is just not going to be there. So far her stuff, I think if I didn't go, I'm going to have a fear of missing out. But so far I'm not seeing anything that's really driving my attention. There is, between those two sales, and I didn't look it up yet to figure which one it is. One of those two sales has a Lenox spice rack in there, and I really want to go for that. That is a very high priced resale value item. It was one I remember when I was setting up like my home back in the early 90s, when like we were getting married and doing that, trying to do the registries and all. There was this spice rack from Lenox, and it was like a subscription based, and you'd get like 3 or 4 of these spice jars every month. And I just remember them being a little pricey, and I didn't want to do it. They did give you the whole metal or the wooden shelf that went with it and all. One of these two sales has it there, and I can see it because it's not fully filling out. There must have been like 40 jars or something on this. It doesn't have like all the jars because the shelf is not full. So I'm thinking that maybe they didn't start it early enough. Maybe they missed a month or two. I don't know. But they don't have the full thing. If the full thing was there, from what I can remember, they were selling like $500 or $600. But I will try to put a comp in here. So that is one I really would like to go for, but I think my husband would be about ready to just divorce me to bring anything home, because I don't know if you can tell, like I said, I just went to the post office and I still have this in my car from a week and a half ago. Yeah. So that's my penance. I've said it before. My penance is leave it in the car until I sell this or list the stuff that's in my house, and I haven't done any of that yet. So then the last thing that I found, I said there was 3, was, I think I mentioned to you before that I had gone to an estate sale, and it was chock full to the rafters of toys and stuff like that. And I remember, I went and I bought a bunch of Fisher Price, but I remember thinking to myself, like, they have saved everything. All these toys, clothes, they had, just anything you can imagine. I don't think anything left this house in the last 40 to 50 years. And I remember thinking to myself, like, where was the Christmas? And as fast as that thought had come into my mind, it had left. And I got really good stuff on that first day. It was like a 2 or 3 day sale. And I had more than enough that I just felt, I had done well, and I didn't think about going back. And then last week I went to a sale, and I was talking about networking and talking to the gentleman I met at that sale, that particular sale. And we got talking and chit-chatting, and there was a bunch of different my conversations and just that whole sale. There was a lot of like very minute little nuggets of things that happened that really kind of came into educating me on things, or just teaching me how my gut was right in how it was reacting to stuff. And he had talked to me about going back to that sale on the second day, and how there was a bunch of Christmas there, and how he was like, did real well reselling it. I mean, that video, if you watch it, I'll tell you, like, I was like, just like sick that I missed all this stuff. And when I was there was tons of lace and hankies and old gloves and just any kind of eyelet stuff and all. And I remember talking to somebody when we were waiting to get in the house and just asking about it. They were explaining how she sold on Etsy and she was known as the linen lady. I was like, really? That's interesting. And I just didn't have any interest in that stuff. Well, in going through, there's an estate sale that must be the family, and it's being termed the linen lady sale. So the family is now, I guess, taking over what was left over and selling it. Talking about there being Christmas, and they only have about 11 pictures up right now. So I don't know how I could not go. So this is going to be one of those, where do I go? Do I go to the house where I go to get this spice rack? Do I take a chance and miss out on the other lady with a bunch of stuff coming out of a shed, but don't see much in the pictures? I don't know yet. So we will check back on the midweek wrap up as to where my inclination is going to go. So I'm going to say, be back. And do the check-in here at the lake, and how beautiful the foliage is still, even though a lot of the leaves are off the trees. I can't even find the one tray that I was using as my focal point before. Probably maybe because the leaves fell off. If you're seeing anything green, I'm in the Pine Barrens here in southern New Jersey, and those are going to be the pines. Here's the check-in for what's going on with the dam over there. And there's Wheaton's. And then, what I did notice last time I was here, and I didn't make the cut. Hold on, we're going to see my car. Let's get back. This is all the foliage over there. Those are the houses that we were looking at. They have let the lake down considerably. You will see. They used to do this a lot when I was a kid, so you could clean up your beaches and stuff. Once or twice they had it down, and I'm going to tell you, if I go back over here, if we go back out, I'm going to use my finger, see if I can get my finger to show up in the camera, all the way like out to here. I mean, like almost to the other, that is where the main stream is. And they let this down once or twice, and it was amazing how much of this here is because of the dam. All this would not be here if it was the regular river just coming through. So that is what we are looking like now. So I'm here for the midweek check-in. And the first thing I'm going to start off with is the estate sales. I did not see much more beyond the 3, and I really don't need more than those 3 because I'm only going to be able to hit one, and the one I'm choosing to go to, I'll get to at the end. The first one that is intriguing to me, I think I will go, but not when they open, is the one where I said, like, oh my God, I was cringing because the gentleman I saw at an estate sale 2 weeks ago had told me about going back on the second day. This was the one that was, I've said it before, it was chock full of the rafters. I got the Fisher Price little people there. And he went the second day, and they were pulling a bunch of vintage Christmas out of the attic. He doesn't even know Christmas. When he was explaining to me what he got, and I was cringing, he was like telling me, like in shock, like what he got. So he didn't have the trained eye to know what is the better stuff. And I know that if I don't go, I'm going to be just like always wondering, like, what did I miss? But they're starting at 9 o'clock on that same day to the one I'm going. And it's like, I got to camp out. That's not worthy of me to camp out on this possibility. The family loaded 44 pictures so far, and none of them have anything even that's like, wow, to me. So that one is later in the morning. That one and the other one I'm not going to are very close together. They're within like a 5 to 10 minute ride. And the other one I'm not going to go to is the one with the Lennox spice rack. Not because I don't feel that it's not going to be worthy, but because it's only that and a couple boxes of shiny bright ornaments, and they never took the lid off the shiny bright ornaments. So for me, I can't really value in dollars what those would be worth. And it's really those 2 items. And I don't want to get there, invest all that time to then find out like the boxes were empty or somebody else grabbed both of those items, and I wound up with nothing and have all that vested interest in, you know, being there early and everything else, and then I get skunked. So for me, I'm going to go to the one that I mentioned was the one that the woman had the sale last week and was talking about how much Christmas this house has to sell. and she's got the whole shed that she cleaned out of stuff. She has been loading and loading every day more pictures. She's got over, I think, 900 pictures now. She is putting up some newer pictures. Some of them are, you know, more pictures of the same, but maybe a different, like a highlight of an item. But what I am finding in there is she's done some box group photos, like where they've got like all these figurines like in a box. I'm getting from basically like top half of the figure is all I'm seeing peeking out of these boxes. So that's all I'm having to go off of. But the stylization, I'm somewhat believing to be different artists, and they've done collabs with some of the retailers I've done before, whether it's somebody I still currently deal with or people I've done in the past. But I just recognize the style and believe it to be them. Until I really get there, I can't say with any certainty because I can't. Google Lens is not helping me. It's not got enough information, and there's too many of them in the picture to really separate one out from the other. I'm having to just go on a feeling, truthfully. And there is a lot of stuff in the house. There is these different Christmas figurines. There's a lot of different Christmas figurines. I mean, there's probably at least 20 to 30 figurines in different areas of the photos that I'm identifying that I feel will be of value. Again, I try to work off of not having mainstream stuff. Some of the stuff she has is in that primitive world, and I've said before that finding primitive decor is very valuable because people love that. They love to decorate in country and primitive, but not all of it is the same. It's, you know, some of it I would almost equate to being like a Walmart Target quality, meaning, you know, it wasn't very expensive to buy it. And other than it for a few select pieces, there's not like a huge demand for the item. So there is some things in there of the primitive I think will be worthwhile that I can buy for an everyday market as well as for the Christmas. Those are things that I'm going to do a little more research on tonight. Some of the other things that are there is some Lenox ornaments that, if anything, I probably want for myself. I did mention in that couple of different videos, there was that woman that was really trying to psych me out and buying the one Lenox piece, and I really didn't appreciate it, and I really believe now in my heart of hearts that she's just, I can't trust her. I don't know which of the two she's going to choose to go to. I have a feeling she'll probably go to that one that has the Lenox spice rack. She never gets to these sales very early. So I have a feeling she's probably going to hit that one because it starts at 9 and the one I'm planning to go camp out at doesn't start till 10. So I believe in my head I'm probably going to hit that stuff first, scoop it up, and then go hit the others, because I don't know that there's going to be very many people that recognize who and what these were. Like I said, because the way you can't do the research and stuff on them, you just kind of have to know them. So that is my idea for tomorrow. And I will tell you, I did get through yesterday putting away all the stuff I had scheduled and drafted and getting it noted in my system. I was so ecstatic for that. And I do need to put the stuff in my Flipwise system to make sure that the inventory is getting done correctly. I was able to get this morning a start on my bookkeeping for the Christmas invoices for my wholesale business. So I'm really feeling kind of good for that. I did start trying to now catch up to where I left off with taking photos and drafting of some of the other stuff. That is going to be my mission today, because I did predict that based on the election, I thought things were going to slow down. And we did see a slowdown, I would say, in the evening of the election, and then in the morning until about maybe mid-afternoon. I think just because people were staying up, they were very vested in seeing what the outcome was going to be, so they probably stayed up later. And I think they just had a slow start. It's kind of sluggish start in the morning. I know I was, so I wouldn't be surprised with daylight savings times and then this. I think people are just trying to adjust to this new schedule, and it's just kind of all caught up with them Tuesday night into Wednesday. I can tell you for the rest of the afternoon and everything on Wednesday, it was fine. My husband, my son, and I did get some jump start on today's shipping. So I'm really kind of feeling that I'm going to spend time for that today. And then, like I said, get myself prepared, get myself ready for this estate sale for tomorrow. And then one of the other things, and I'm not opening this up for any political debate, please do not put any comments because I will delete them. But one of the things that I heard said, and this is when I'm trying to help you in developing your passion and your eye and the niche or whatever term you want to be. This is an example of what I'm saying helps me in my planning for my wholesale business, but also in my resale business. This new one is one of the commentators had made a comment about with Donald Trump winning the election that in 2 years, in 2026, it will be the 250th anniversary of the United States and the Declaration and, you know, all of that. And I lived through the era. I was very, very young, but I was there through the era of the bicentennial year. And I can tell you that bicentennial year influenced a lot of retail out there, to the point of like how people were buying wallpaper and everything in the fabrics and home decor and what have you. And I didn't think about it being an anniversary year. And I'm going to tell you another prediction I'm going to make is you're going to see a lot of that Americana coming out, a lot of the red, white, and blue being used, the things like the stars and the stripes and the flag and what have you for all that stuff. So when you're out there sourcing, no matter which model you're using, whether it's retail arbitrage or online arbitrage or retailing from estate sales and yard sale, whatever you're doing, I think you're going to start seeing that in 2025, and I think you're definitely going to see it through to 2027. Start looking for that kind of stuff. No matter which type of niche you have, I think this is going to, everybody is going to be buying into this in some way. And I mean, obviously, if you're international and you're not doing anything for the United States, probably won't, but I think you're going to start seeing it in the things that we wear and all of that stuff. I don't know yet. I have yet to hear a term for keywords to use. I mean, we had Y2K out there. We had bicentennial. I don't know what they're going to have for the 250. There, I'm sure, will be some keywords you're going to want to start looking for and cashing in on and using in your titles and stuff like that. So that's just one example of what I'm saying is my mind is trained. My ear is hearing it. I say for things like if you have an artist that's putting out a new record or a new movie that's coming out or a new reboot to a movie, don't just pay attention to the Disney stuff. I mean, look what happened with Barbie. Last year, we had tons of Barbie stuff hitting the market, and it's still going to be a thing in the market this year, especially when you've got things coming into like the remake of them taking and then putting it into like a kid's show. So things like that, pay attention, start looking at how you can bring that in to whatever type of niche you're going to have. Maybe it's something you want to add to what you're already doing. So again, I was kind of surprised that I hadn't heard or paid attention that we had that anniversary as a country coming up. So I hope this gives you some good information, insight. I will be back at the end of the week for my end of the week wrap up and my sales. Hold on. It is November 9th and the Christmas decorating has started. All of the deep cleaning is going on right now so that we can get ready for the unveiling of Christmas 2024. So I showed you all of my video of the local foliage, and this is what it means for us as the season winds down, and that goes all the way down to about here. And that's just what he's getting out of the front yard. Yeah. It's Kristen, and I'm back for the end of the week wrap up. And then after I end this video, I'm going to be rolling right into the next beginning of the week video, because today is Monday, November 11th, and it's a federal holiday here in the United States for Veterans Day. And when I was out yesterday, I just did not feel that my day was really determined in how it was going to go to be able to wrap it up. What I did since the midweek was I did go to the estate sale on Friday. That stuff is still in the back. I did pretty good, I feel. There will be a shop with me video and a what did I buy video from that sale. They're gonna have like a shed full of Christmas kind of in the title of it. Basically, Friday was just trying to get stuff listed, and we went to dinner. Saturday, both my husband and I discussed it. We were taking the day off. I spent Saturday with doing a tea with a friend. We did a little retail therapy, if you can see, with the wrapping paper in the back. I wanted to buy some stuff that I knew I wanted for the upcoming holiday decorating that I was going to do. I did do some Saturday, I did do some yesterday, and I wasn't real sure how much on Sunday, what I was going to do, how we were going to do it. And we did spend some point of Sunday really trying to get ahead of the curve, because we were having a phenomenal weekend so far in the wholesale business model. And it was really getting to the point where we needed to kind of put a good dent in what was coming out for orders. So it wound up, I did end the day, like I said, with more personal stuff. I did not really get to anything with listing. I knew I had to give myself grace. I really wasn't making that a priority. For me, getting the decorating done in my own house it's a passion of mine. It's very evident in what I'm buying and everything. And I kind of feel negligent if my own home doesn't get decorated. I really have focused in the last couple of years. I'm going to do, I think, a special episode of how I really made a lot of decisions in last year to pay off for this year. And I'm really enjoying and liking what I did. That left me to basically last night. So, like I said, I really didn't get much done. And that's going to wrap up what we had. I'll get into my sales for this week. I don't feel that I was not getting goals done or anything, because I really didn't set a lot of goals knowing what this time of the year was. So I'm going to end it here, and let's get into what the sales were. I'm here to go over my sales now for the week of November 4th through November 10th. We had gross sales of $825. It does say I have a net sales of $569, and I'm finding that I haven't put up a lot of the costs and stuff in here, so I'll go through them as I go. It says I have an average gross per sale of $33.02 with an average net per sale of $22.75. We'll see how accurate that is once we get in there. Again, they're saying 69% net profit margin with an average net profit margin of 65%. Same, my Facebook sales are the #1 for the week, which to me is telling me that I sold a lot of paper for my hobby business in here. Estate sales make better sense to me because that is the primary focus of what I've been doing. They're saying that the active listings by price is basically about half being between the under $20 range and half being the $20 to $50 range of what got listed through that time period. The average cost of goods is $27.34. Again, I don't know that I believe that. $129 for market fees and $98.66 for shipping. Here we are where I got new listings up of 23. I do commit to 3 listings per day. So somehow I was able to get a few extras in there, and I had 27 sales. This tells me, again, my store is shrinking. The average time to sell is 2 months. Let's get into what my sales were for the week. This is going to be interesting because I haven't even looked ahead yet, so let's see. I'm going to just go through the sales that are things I've sourced or bought at like estate sale companies or Facebook Marketplace, because a lot of paper sold in this week, and that's such a niche that I don't think most people would going to be finding this. The lowest cost item I was able to sell in this week, I'll go through all the expenses that came out of this, and then in the future ones, I'm just going to give you the highlights of the sale. This was a Vineyard Vines men long sleeve t-shirt. This was when I was back in July, still kind of getting my feet under me with this store. I had basically been in it for about a month, and I was trying to focus mainly on clothes and going to like the thrift stores. I kind of gave up on that for right now because I do know that my passion is just the Christmas goods, and I just stopped fighting it. At this particular time, I bought it at a Goodwill for $6.99. In my state, we do not pay sales tax for clothing, so it was a flat $6.99. The cost of this goods that I received was $13.46 with a $6 shipping cost. The final value fee, the fixed final value fee here is a 40-cent transaction fee that basically eBay charges you for the collection of the money from your buyer and then transferring it into your own bank account. Then the final value fee is a commission that you're paying to eBay for being able to list and sell on their marketplace. Generally, it's 15%. That does depend on the type of store. If you have an eBay store with them, it also has a depending on your category and things, but on average you can say it's 15%. If you want to know the exact, there is a calculator that you can find by Googling it that will give you those things exactly. The cost to ship this particular item was $4.89. The net return out of this was $4.78. As you can see up here, it did take 4 months to sell this. I am just happy I was able to come out of this without losing money. It does say I had a return on investment of 68% with a net profit margin of 25%. This was an offer I sent out. The buyer accepted it. I was just very happy, like I said, to come out of this on the plus side. I thought I was going to wind up having to donate this back, truthfully, because I just did not know this brand that well, and the comps were just non-existent at that period of time. It's a Valentine theme, and I bought it in July, so I really bought this out of season. So that was the lowest of things I sourced in this particular time period that I sold. The next highest item that I sold were these 2 bath towels from Lennox. I'm very familiar with this pattern. I bought this in a lot off of a listing on Facebook Marketplace. I think I wound up getting 5 listings worth of stuff that came out of this bundle of towels that I bought. I think I paid like $12 or $15 for the whole lot. I did attribute $5 to these towels, and I sold them for $18.99 for the 2 with a $7.50 shipping cost. After everything was said and done, my $5 turned into $12.26, and it did take me 30 days to sell it. So in a month, I took $5 and basically got like 1 1/4 amount of my money back. I was very happy with that. The next highest item was this Jim Shore. She is a Thanksgiving themed figure. I bought this. It was a pop-up like moving sale that a woman was having. She was getting ready to move cross country, and she was just liquidating some stuff out of her house. It was $5 for me to purchase this. It took me 22 days to sell it. I did get $19.99 for her with $9.75 for shipping. I found after I got it home, and I don't know if it came that way or I did it in the transporting it, but she does have a chip on the tip of her one wing, so that did limit the cost of what I was going to be able to charge. Even still having had that, I sold this in 3 weeks basically, and I got $13.34 back. So I took $5 and got $13.34. I'm still happy with that. The next highest item was this Annalie doll that was a scarecrow. I bought this at an estate sale. It's the one that I had to make the private appointment for to view anything. It took me almost a month to sell. I bought this because it was a much more unique piece. For some reason, I attributed $17 for this. I don't remember them being that high. I thought they were like $3 or $6 or $9, something like that. But for some reason, I don't know. I guess I had to break it down, and I attributed $17. I got $22.99 for it with a $6.90 shipping cost, and I got back $2.73. Truthfully, this was selling. Like I said, this is Halloween week. I tend to think the scarecrows are more for Halloween, so I was just happy again to get out of this on the plus side, make a little bit of money, and move on. The next highest selling item was this 4-piece Mickey Mouse. They called it the Iconic Body Parts collection. It was a 4-piece box set of ornaments. I believe it was sold in the parks there. And I sold this in less than a day. It says about 18 hours. I picked this up at the flea market type of yard sale that was like 125 families. It was advertised for. I believe there was really only like 40 to 50, but I did do very well at that sale. I picked this up. I don't have the purchase price in there. I think I paid $2 or $3 for this. It was not very much. And I got $24.99, which was my listing fee for that. And truthfully, I think these had an original retail value of $24.99, and I got that without even having the box. There was a $6.30 shipping cost, and after that was said and done, because I don't have the purchase cost in there, it says $22.46. Truthfully, I think I really took like $2 and turned it into like 20. I'm very happy with that. So this just tells me I do need to go back in and update these amounts. The next highest item was this wood carved in Russia Santa. These are things, again, I don't think the people holding the estate sale knew what they had. I think I only paid $2 or $3 for this. I don't have the cost in here again, unfortunately. I haven't gotten that far with it. This sold in 2 days. And after I got the $25, I think I took an offer on that, truthfully. Let me see. Yeah, I originally listed it for $34.99. Took an offer for $25 with a $6.50 shipping cost. And again, I think I paid $2 or $3. I probably made close to 20 bucks for that, and it was 2 days. This was just something randomly on a table of stuff. I know this only from being in my wholesale business. The next highest item was this plush Hallmark. It's the Jingle Pals collection. Every year they come out with a new one. I bought this at my first estate sale ever back in July, and I really had no idea what I was buying until I started doing the lookup for the listings. I bought them for $2. I bought a bunch of them. I've had this listed for 4 months. When I took an offer of $20, I think I just need to mark down the rest of them because I don't want to keep them much after this. I would love to get rid of them now. They're taking up a lot of room. The shipping cost for this was $12.10. Like I said, they are a bigger, bulkier item. I did get back a net return of $17.49. If I could get rid of all of them with that kind of a profit margin, I would be very, very happy. So that is something probably to put on the plan for this week. Then I have a bunch of other store stuff and things like that. And then the highest selling listing for the week is this Fenton opal satin glass figure set of Mr. and Mrs. Snowman. I bought this at the estate sale that has all of the Lennox that was there. I don't think that the people holding the estate sale understood the value of them combined. This was listed, I believe, for like 20 bucks. I didn't put the selling cost in here, but truthfully, I did sell them for $124.99 in less than a week. I knew they were going to be good because I mentioned in my preparation of going to attend the show that the people the artists who paint these, I think they're given a little bit of like artistic license to do what they want. This particular couple was painted with a lot of color, a lot of glitter. Their facial expressions looked very nice. I knew that I could mark this up. I probably got one of the better sales prices out of what the comps were showing. I was marking it up, just waiting to see what I could get. There was $14.10 I charged in addition for shipping. And they're saying right now my net return is $108.38, but I am going to have to take $20 out of that. Very, very good sale for me this week. It was my #1 selling item. I'm very happy that I could move it that quick. I'm going to say that, you know, if you ever see this type of Fenton glass, especially if it's Christmas or holiday, pick it up. It always seems to do very well. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video this week. I would appreciate any comments down below, especially any questions you may have. If there's anything I can help you with, and also trying to, you know, build your eBay business, I'd be more than happy to help. I did see that this week I was getting very close to what I'm looking for in my goals for the future as far as income to be able to count on for myself. And I really appreciate you watching. If there's anything, like I said, I could do, please leave the comments down below. I would appreciate if you could hit that like button if you got some good content out of this. And I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.